Folks, welcome to Speedbump. We're doing Symphony of the Night. Here's our
What a
layout.
game.
We've got audio from Tarragon here.
So we're playing SOTN here. We're not letting them skip death, and if they know how to do it. And we're going to be judging this race based on map completion. So once time is called, they'll basically head as quickly as possible back to a save point, because I believe other people were confirming, yeah, the PlayStation version doesn't show you map completion except for on the file select. So they'll head back, reset, we'll check the files, and that will be basically everyone's score.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is going to encourage some interesting strategy, I think. Because even if you're really good at this game, I mean, what the best way to do it would be to know where to get bat form to get it and to bat crush through the whole castle, but not everybody knows the input for wing smash, so it's fine. We'll see how it goes. That's definitely the fastest way to do it, but we'll see probably 5 players having a good time just killing bosses and getting natural progression. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Alright, I was giving them the rules real quick, what we're expecting. And I will go ahead and give them the start.
They
Who
won't
is
have
not ready?
They won't have Richter mode because this is the first file. I think there's a ready check somewhere.
We got there. We got there. So we're giving them 30 minutes. Pretty tight timer for even a really accomplished person to make it super far as map completion, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. You have this intro to do too, which is going to eat 5 of your minutes.
Like, if you were to do this right now at your personal skill level, like, what percentage of the map do you think you'd be seeing? Is it some very small number, or like 50% of the map, or 20%?
I don't think I'd make it to the second castle because that requires a whole bunch of shenanigans, but I do feel like I would get 70 or 80% of the main map, maybe, in 30 minutes. That's a decent chunk of time for somebody who knows where to go. You have a couple issues. You have a requirement to get a key that unlocks the sewers.
You don't belong in this world.
Can I get quad die monster?
That I'm once again
Hold on.
given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. I was called here.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Empty as your
Perhaps
soul.
the same could be said
A
of
lot of
all.
reverb in here, huh?
Yeah, I'm hearing like multiple feeds and it
Empty as your
rules.
soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
But enough
Empty as
talk.
your soul.
What is a man?
Mankind ill
A
needs
miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk.
Okay.
How about you?
I was just goofing. That was all 5 of our players at once.
Okay. That rules.
But enough talk.
Yeah, I don't know how many years ago, 4 years ago maybe, I played through this. Back when I was doing my podcast, we were going to talk about SOTN, and I played through it, and I played through just to the first credits, like I guess the bad ending, or however people think of that. And I was like, okay, I'm done. And everyone's like, no, you're not. And I did never play it again, so that was it.
That's good stuff. That's an insult. That's like the... Not really the warp whistle for Mario. It would be like if you just skipped the game after World 1, you saved the king,
If you finish,
turned it off.
finish World 1 and Peach wrote that letter to you and like, wow, nice letter. Thanks.
she's
and
she's
turned
fine.
off the console.
So there is... I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with these basic... It's just because SOTN's so popular, but I'll go over it in case you're not. This fight determines your starting stats for some reason.
In what way?
There's a lot of variables to it. I don't really remember them all. If you do really well and you do really a fast fight without Maria coming out here to save your ass, you get some nice stats for Alucard. A couple levels advantage, just a little bit. It's not huge, but it's noticeable. It's not nothing.
It's like the sort of thing if you're a speedrunner you would care a lot about, and if you're playing casually it probably doesn't matter all that much.
Well, Symphony of the Night is a very easy game, so I feel like the stat increase is always minimal anyway. It's only a couple levels, but your starting items are always the same as far as I know. You start with Alucard's incredible gear, and that will be taken away from the players. They were asking if they could skip death, which would let them... I'm probably going to give them an extra 5 minutes because of all the cutscenes. Let's hit that button. How about that? They can't skip them.
That's very kind of you.
Oh, yeah. You in for 30 minutes of SOTN again?
An extra 30 minutes?
It was just 30 minutes
I'm here
starting
for 35 minutes, Smite. You got me for 35 minutes of
You got it, you got it. Well, Hydrostorm devastates Dracula. Richter Belmont here is going to be in the new Castlevania show. Everyone likes Richter the best.
I'm letting them know they're getting an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to start the clock. Just, I mean, this clock's still running. They just are getting a bonus bit for this start here. So yeah, watch the HP of Alucard here, and we'll see if that, at least, is different from everybody. Akami's rocking 69. Nice, because they got hit once. But I think that that's probably higher than everyone else is going to have. But we'll see. I feel like using sub-weapons and stuff determine the start. But yeah, this is the game that started the Metroidvania craze. Metroid, obviously, has been a thing in Castlevania for a while, and Super Metroid really opened up the Metroid exploring thing. With a lot of fine-tuned movement and stuff that the original Metroid didn't have. And then this game came out and was like, what if they were the same thing? I say it a lot. My only complaint with this game, really, is I grew up with this game and I like it a lot. It's really easy, like sinfully easy. Such a there's moves by the bosses. Even if I play badly, they still don't last long enough to do them. Like Death here, when you finally fight him in Castle 2, he has a bunch of moves I only ever saw when I played a hard mode pack. I didn't know he even did any of these cool animations, because he just dies instantly to whatever you're packing. And that's if you don't know about the Chris or the Alucard shield hack, where you can turn on a shield rod and just be immortal. It's got a bunch of
So this is the
Street Fighter
death fight that
too.
if you could skip this, you would keep all of your stuff?
Yeah, he's taking it right now.
Right.
Looks like everybody has the same health, but I am 100% sure that that starting fight can change your stats, and I'm not sure exactly how it works. So I'm sure there's information on that if you're interested. A lot of information about this game. I wanted to be a speedrunner back when this was a newish thing, like 2000 and nothing, when I was starting to be a community, and this was a game everyone was looking at. But like, this game hurts my hands to speedrun because of the tech. You have to mash
the backdashing and stuff.
Yeah, you have to mash backdash and the shield button at the same time to get this boost, and I couldn't stand it. I avoid games that make me do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not very good at games where your primary movement tech is really annoying like that.
Yeah, it's not
the closest
just
thing I think
backdash.
I've ever done to that is Super Mario 3D World with all the cat diving.
Backdash does make you move a little faster, but it's not just backdash, it's also shielding while you do it, and it's a big mashing mess.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your...
This game, I don't want to talk over Death too much, because he's great.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
This game really just wanted you to explore a bunch, not worry about dying too much. There's a couple dangerous enemies here and there. The Nova Skeletons will blast you out of nowhere for 300, but for the most part, you are Dracula's son, and you cannot be hurt. So you're just exploring around, you're getting better exploring abilities, you're doing it even more. You're finding weapons in the pillars and the floor, you're finding weapons off the bosses. They're all crazy. You have throwing swords and stuff. You can eat peanuts, you can kick them up in the air and anything. There's all this stuff. It's just loaded with goodies. Everywhere you go, you find life ups, and There's Street Fighter inputs for moves that are just absolutely busted. I don't know if you found any of those, but boy howdy, those are gross.
Does the game teach you them at all?
Sometimes you can buy a couple in the library, but if
like,
you,
when you buy them, does the game tell you how to use them?
yes, it gives you the inputs in your menu. It doesn't sell you
Gotcha.
all of them. Patties, when they open their menu, they're going to stretch their menu a bit because of the PlayStation being weird. That's why that's looking like that. I can't do much about that. That's on their end. Yeah, there's some manuals for some of the moves, but I don't think all of them are in there. And you can win without doing anything but those. They're so good. One of them steals HP from everything on screen and hits for a bundle. That one's expensive. That's Soul Steal. The input's not easy. This game really wasn't designed to take fighter inputs very well, so it's kind of these very deliberate button presses. There is a move that you summon a spirit and it goes and like punches everybody. And there's another one that summons 4 of those, and if you did nothing but summon those the whole game, you would win. You wouldn't have to do anything else. So the DS games came out, and I'm like, alright, more SOTN, I'm gonna go explore. And then I died to like the first boss, the second boss, the third boss, the fifth boss, like just crazy hard compared to this. And so much more interesting in my opinion, though it's always beautiful art in all these games. And the soundtrack's always a banger too. I basically bought a DS to play Dawn of Sorrow, which is the Aria of Sorrow sequel, and Aria of Sorrow probably is actually the one that kicked off that. I didn't like the other GBA games as much. Void Lily knows the spirit summon, so there it was. It uses mana, which is a thing that most players probably don't even know about. Like, it's that blue bar, you probably don't use it at all.
I can't recall how it even works, so I don't know that I ever used it for anything.
It just regenerates automatically. I've already seen Void Lily cast 2 spells. That one makes your dude say Dark Metamorphosis, and that's almost all it does. Because it absorbs blood, and there's only like 5 bleeding enemies in the whole game. You have to stand in their blood to get the heal from it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess when you transform, that's when people would notice the magic bar, really, because it uses it constantly while you're in a, like, bat form.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you can't just be mist all day. I really like the DS games a lot. Like, they're some of my favorite games ever. They're still top dogs. Portrait of Ruin is so good. It's got Richter mode in it too, and that's like the best version of Castlevania I think I've ever seen. It's so good. I think I like it better than the main game. It's so tight, and there's no story really. You just run and kill Dracula, team up against him with your wizard kid and Richter the Whip Man. They do good work. Did you just get close to the boss?
The only Castlevania I've really wanted to take some time with is Harmony of Dissonance, because it had that Getsu Fumaden DLC.
I forget which one that is.
I just know that there's DLC for it that's based on an old Konami property that I'm a big fan of.
I'll know it as soon as I see it. Let's take a look. Oh, that's the Game Boy Advance one.
Harmony of Despair, sorry. Which one? Say that again?
Dissonance is the GBA one, which is it's okay.
Sorry, yeah, Harmony of Despair I meant.
That one is the is that the multiplayer thing?
Yeah, they had some sort of DLC that was like these giant maps that I don't really know all the details about it. I just know that
I've never been able to play that one much. It's this weird, almost phone game sort of thing, unfortunately, where you have 3 players connect on Xbox Live and go through a castle real quick on like a campaign with your pre-leveled character that you've been working on. And it's a permanent character that you level up and you get items and stuff, and you go towards the boss and try and kill it, and it's a boss from one of the games. Void Lily has died to the boss. It's Skybawn and Slogra, featured in the Castlevania anime.
Wasn't this a weird beak creature in Super Castlevania too?
Yeah, they both are.
Oh, good.
Slogger's a jerk, and then Gaibon is pretty easy comparatively. These guys have a couple weird moves. Players who aren't super familiar with this game might die to them. If you're not using your shield, I mean, your shield, even the leather one, can block 100% of these shots. It doesn't, like, blow up or anything.
Right.
Even when Alucard clearly throws it because he got hit. I love the game over screen in this game.
Let us go out this evening for pleasure.
Night is still young.
What the hell kind of game over screen is that?
Yeah, the Xbox Live one, unfortunately, I've never been able to play it. I don't have Xbox Live. I didn't have an Xbox at the time. It was definitely on my, wow, look at that. It's all three of my favorite games merged into one, and I can't play it. And it's some kind of weird multiplayer thing. Like, it's like, I don't want to say like the Tetris 99 sort of, like, it's like that, though. It's a free game, I think, maybe even, but, like, it's just weird, and I don't think it was great. But maybe I'm biased because I couldn't play it. It's just sour grapes about it. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do for the players if they have trouble with this boss. The game does lighten up after this, like, real hard. But these two do a lot of damage. You gotta just learn to dodge their attacks.
I think our players got it. I'm not worried about them. Every time I think that we have a challenge that's too hard or too annoying for them, they end up winning anyway, so.
This game opens up big time. Like, the start is the only hard part, and you spiral out of control so fast once you start exploring anywhere and you get this gear. It becomes nearly impossible to lose until you get to weird gimmick things. The exploring and the items that you get and all of that are way more balanced than the DS ones. They control everything so much better. The upside down castle is pretty funny, but I feel like it didn't really work as well. Like, it kind of feels like the reversed Mario Kart maps, where it's kind of like, ah, that's cool, I guess, but it's not really designed for
it. Doesn't feel compelling to play at all.
Yeah, because you have to use bat form for most of it, or flight, or other things, because it's not really a path anymore, so now you have to just fly through it.
Right.
Okami is having no trouble at all. Everyone else is working on the first bosses. It looks like Digi beat them and is further in, maybe. I think the Alchemy Laboratory is the next area. Maybe I'm wrong. If they can kill one of the bosses, it becomes a lot easier. Will anyone else beat Slogger and Gaibon?
I hope so.
Void Lily is casting Tetris Spirit. Well, regular Spirit anyway.
Playing very aggressively.
Got a block. They can level up. They can go collect some items still. They're not stuck with this. There are rare drops also. So I'm not sure what they'd be looking for. Maybe a bigger sword. Slugger and Gaibon must be defeated before the castle lets you go anywhere. Once they're down, you have a couple choices. But really, it's the next boss that starts to unlock things for you.
This makes me think of when you played that Dark Souls mod that doubled every single creature and boss, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, would this be funny if you were fighting 4 dudes instead of 2?
Now you're talking hard mode mod. You should join that community. It's just, what if there are 50 guys?
What if you have to fight 10 each of them in the same room?
You can actually fight these guys where death was if you go back there before coming in here. If you wanted to. If you felt compelled to do that for some reason. And
It's a very small room.
They will run away if you beat them up, and they'll come here. There's the Hellfire spell. That's Dracula's little cape with fireballs. It's really bad. Just like it is for Dracula. Every time he uses it, he eats shit and some guy hits him in the face. But you can do it too if you'd like to do that to yourself.
Looks like Void Lily made it past.
I think so, yeah.
I was feeling really good about Patty B's attempt on this one, but unfortunately, they hit hard enough that a good attempt becomes a bad attempt pretty much instantly.
Yeah. Slagra and Gaibon don't have a whole lot of moves. Slagra just gets dropped right in front of you, so he's easy to deal with. But then Gaibon gets mad that his friend is dead and starts spitting fire everywhere. It's predictable fire, but it is dangerous to get hit by. Freaking Axe Knights. If they level up a bit, they're going to reduce the damage that they take and do more damage themselves, just like any RPG would do. There's also some HPs hidden in the walls in a couple places that will permanently boost.
Classic wall chicken.
Yeah, there's, I think, 2 of them at least. And a heart container up that they could get. Not that hearts are very useful. Yeah, I don't know how you would fix SOTN because the abilities you get are so strong. The maps are just kind of designed for you to fly through them. So the only way to fix them really is to put jerks everywhere. It's hard to design around the level that they had made. It's alright. It's definitely an older Metroidvania. One of the first. Genre starter. And you can see that.
A real tastemaker.
Patty B's new strategies coming here with 300 axes.
I can't imagine how anything could go wrong.
They have done it. That's another Gaibon down. Now, Okami is at the next boss, who is actually weak to the stopwatch. You can just freeze him and hit him if you wanted to. Sometimes the stopwatch works on the boss.
Is this Doppelganger?
Yes. There's 2 of these doppelgangers. There's a doppelganger of doppelganger running around.
It's a classic Castlevania 3 boss if I've ever seen one.
It's got powers you don't even have yet. It's a better doppelganger than you. I'm pretty sure you can stopwatch the doppelganger, and not only that, there's one right before here that you can grab and bring on in here. I'm pretty sure this is the boss you would do that on. It's been a while since I played this, but pretty confident that that is one of the guys who's weak to that, and he can be annoying, but Tommy has cleared it. And now they have the choice between the library or the clock tower, or taking the library, getting the key, and then turning around, going to the sewers if they want. They can go then to the cathedral if they'd like to instead of the sewers. And from the cathedral they could get up to Dracula's area. That's about it. We're probably not going to see most of those places. I bet library is next. Maybe not, because it's kind of a bad floor to get maps on. You have to turn around. We're going by map percent, which is... it's gotta be just how far they got before they died. Percent.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit tricky, but in general, this will work pretty well.
Yep, they'll just have to hustle to their nearest save, and I feel like they'll have no trouble finding that. Is anyone still on the first boss? I think Tarragon might be. They're trying to level up, I think. Digi is through. Patty is through, it looks like. And Void Lily is way past, doing some weird loop around area that they can do. This game has so many secrets, of course it does. One of the secrets is rushing through with the wolf, and then while you're in the tunnel, you turn into the bat real quick, and then it opens up a secret door. And you can go get the jewel sword, and you'll get 1 map square for that. Probably not worth your time, but...
Let me ask you, if you're, let's say, in the year 2023, you wanted to play through this and like 100% it, see as much as there is to see, is all of this stuff like learnable in the game, or is a lot of this just arcane knowledge that comes from outside of it?
You're not going to learn most of this stuff without game facts. There is so much.
Like, is there
weird
something
stuff
in the game or someone in the game, for instance, that tells you about that thing where you just said going from a bat or from a wolf directly into a bat and it opens something?
That's definitely an Easter egg trick of some kind. I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know if they're selling manuals or what, but I don't know how you could possibly figure that one out. Impossible. No way. Maybe, because you're running through there as the wolf, and you might just happen to decide, I want to be a bat. That would be incredibly lucky. But you would maybe be running through there as the wolf already, so, you know, half the formula is done.
So bizarre to me. It's so bizarre to me that, like, for someone like me who likes playing games and figuring things out on my own, that you could just, like, realistically miss so much of this game.
Yeah. There's a lot like that in this game for sure. There's a sword, I'm pretty sure, that's cursed and becomes uncursed after 1 billion kills and becomes one of the best weapons. There's another armor that works similarly that does that, and it's a rare drop. So that's already... The rareness of the drops is obscene in these games, even though they're single player. The DS does not fix that. It maybe even makes it worse. The rare drops, if you like collecting cool items, in this game, there's a sword that hits like 8 times, and it drops off a shmoo, and it will never drop. It's such an uncommon drop. You have to be real good at collecting. There's, what are the other cool secrets? Did you find the blade familiar? It's a sword.
Probably not. I don't think I found like any of the familiars. I think I ended up with just like the fairy, and that's it.
The blade talks smack while it does things. Well, it kills enemies and levels up, and if you get it all the way leveled up, you can equip it. That's pretty weird. It also has a spell that you won't know that you can cast. You can do stuff like that. Players still have about 10 minutes left. In the clock tower there, if you use the stopwatch, you can go up the right side, and you can get the a la carte shield, sword, and mail. And if you put them all on, your name changes to a la carte. And your luck goes up, I think. What other fun
There's
stuff?
some games, I mean, some of my favorite games have things like what we're talking about right now, but I don't know. For me, a game that has all of this stuff that you're just going to miss unless you either spend 1,000 hours on the game and try every random thing or read a walkthrough, it's like, really puts me off.
Yep. The DS games have like a quest log and menu and stuff that gives you some kind of like, hey, why don't you take a picture of the Yeti? And it gives you an idea of where it's at. And you're gonna have to llama your way through that one because it's hard to find, but it is in the game at
But
least.
like, it gives you a breadcrumb a little bit to make progress toward a thing it wants you to do.
This one doesn't really know what it wants yet, I think. It's just full
See, that's
secrets.
a cool idea. Like, I love things where it's like, here's just a little nudge to tell you there is something if you are willing to pursue it.
Yeah, it says something like, boy, that Yeti sure likes rice curry or something, and you have that as like a spell for some reason. You can just throw that down. So you just throw it down in the ice field where he happens to be, and he'll come out and eat it, and you can get his picture then. It's something like that. This game definitely does not have that kind of guidance most of the time. The librarian here is your source for most of it, and he only sells you spell scrolls. You can do them right away if you know the inputs, but you won't. So one of the inputs, the one for Tetra Spirit, is like hold up for 3 seconds, quarter circle forward down. Um, and then release and press fire. Oh, Okami cannot afford the magic scroll. They have no money. Oh, that's too bad. They actually don't have a lot of anything. They have a meal ticket. They can make a dinner and eat that and heal up. They're going for it. They're risking their map progress. The enemies' designs are so cool. There is a button in the underground. It's kind of weird. And if you equip the demon familiar, he'll say, I'm gonna push that. And then he opens it up and a wall opens up. I think in that case, they finally did something where you might notice the weird button and not, you know, you want to interact with a weird button, so you might figure that one out. Let's see what else we got. Of course, there's name inputs. A lot of them.
Yeah, weird names have always kind of been a thing.
You can become the Axe Armor, or Richter mode is a very popular one because it's like it's playable. And it kind of is its own whole game. You might even like it better than the main game because he controls really well and he's got
he's got that up kick, right?
Yeah, he's got somersault, he's got jump kick, he can do a cross slash, a forward thing. He's got inputs too, fighter game inputs. He can do a lot of stuff. And he doesn't need to explore, he can't equip anything, so you're just leveling up, so you don't care about that. Okami's fighting here for his life. Made it through. Was cursed, wasn't allowed to swing there. I'm taking a look at the secrets here in this game.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't give SOTN a pass for other games doing the same thing that I'm fine with. But it's like, I don't know, SOTN's such a popular one that's so weird about it. And I feel like all the other games that did this same thing were like really niche games. So maybe that's why I don't give SOTN as much of a pass.
If you put this game disc in your CD drive and try to play it, you'll get the voice actor for Alucard telling you that it's not a audio disc. Stop it. You don't see that too often either.
I feel like quite a few games of this era did that, where they would put all of the game on track 1 and just do Redbook audio for the rest of the tracks, so that you could actually play like the soundtrack on different or on a CD player.
We got that weird technology connections as a YouTube channel I watched. They did a video on PlayStation security and how the discs work, the black disc. It's pretty interesting.
I don't know, like La Mulana, the sequence to get into Hell Temple is equally, if not more, arcane than some of the things that are in this game, but it's like, I don't know. No one's out here defending La Mulana, so I feel like, okay, I'll give it a pass.
I'm gonna tell you one more secret in our last 4 minutes here. The librarian has a big pit underneath of him. You might find this one. You can go underneath him to where that pit is, and you can fly up there, but that doesn't do anything. But you get an item that gives you Richter's jump, basically. It's the gravity boots. You can, like, rocket upwards, and if you do that, he'll drop an item. But if you then hit the floor, and then do it, I think, 10 times, he'll drop another one. You have to do it without touching the floor, and that requires a lot of mana. And if you do it, like 100 times without touching the floor, he'll drop his final item for you eventually. Like
What's his final item? Is it good?
It's pretty good armor and rings that give you rare drops and stuff. It's one of those things where, like, you're gonna do it once, you're gonna get the item. So even if you do figure it out, you're gonna be like, oh, he dropped the thing, and he actually has 5 more, and it requires some nebulous amount of times in a row to do it to get the other ones.
Amazing.
And because it costs mana to use that ability, you're gonna run out of mana and have trouble maintaining it, even if you know how to do it. It's a really tight little transition. We are almost out of time. I think, oh, Tarragon's going for the boss fight one last time. kicking soundtrack in this game. YouTube's gonna mute this video. Sorry, folks. They really like the soundtrack here. They don't usually care, but for some reason, Symphony of the Night, they really do. I would suspect that you would enjoy greatly all the DS-Mania games, all 3 of them. I'm not sure which one you'd like the best, but
I'm sure I would. It's like a series I've just missed out on, so I don't have a lot of compulsion to get into it. But just watching this and talking, I wrote down SOTN on my backlog. I'm like, maybe I should be giving it a second shot.
it's such a dry game. I don't think you're gonna be impressed with what's left in it. Like it's voice acted and fun and all, but I would just play the DS ones. Or actually, Ariasario on Game Boy Advance is also good. There's a randomizer for that. It's one of the best ones. There's a randomizer for this too, but
before Okami.
the randomizer for this one doesn't really work because you're just gonna find some god item and then you're just coasting on it. It's not like the Link to the Past one where you're looking for the hook shot, or that's what the other randomizers are like.
You gotta understand, Smite, I've spent the last 10-ish years in the speedrunning community, and SOTN is held up as like the pinnacle of video gaming. It is the highest achievement that man has attained.
I understand where that comes from. It's just it's like thinking that way about like Mario 1 when Mario 3 exists. That's how I feel about it. I just don't see it. I feel like they definitely made advancements with this genre fast. But speedrunning it is it's way more open than those other games too. It definitely is. Like
Right.
those games involve DS trickery where you can like warp through the floor, and I think that's not a very exciting thing. Wing smashing through the whole castle, on the other hand, takes a lot of talent and is really fun to watch. I think Castlevania SOTN is the best speed game. But it's such a pain to control.
Mist could pass.
Mist could pass.
If it would just apply itself.
You can tell the players to go to their save. It's time to see the percent. Paragon's a step ahead of us. Time is up. Literally just made it to the boss. But they got a save right before they got there too. So Tarragon's at 5.4%. I think they're the only one who couldn't defeat Gaibon's menacing barrage of fireballs. The trick really there is that you can duck under him and he just shoots him right over your head. But you have to watch out for that contact damage and stuff. It's a little weird.
I told Tarragon and the rest of them to multiply it by 10 since it gives a 10th digit. For setting their score in the race.
Yeah. This game also features a different save icon for each tile of your 15-slot memory card.
Yeah, Okami hit 24%. That's pretty impressive, honestly. I mean,
That's me
Okami definitely
overestimating.
broke away pretty quick.
That's me overestimating big time how much I'd clear, because I think I'm going to be closer to that, actually. Just feels like
Well,
a
you
lot
said
of time.
50% of the main castle.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd explore almost double that, and I don't think I would, based on what I just saw.
Well, 50% of the main castle would still only be half of the map, right? Because it goes up to like 200%.
Yeah,
It goes up to like 200%. Yeah, never mind.
The extra 100% comes from the other castle, and then the last 6% or so comes from like getting map outside of the map a little bit in the extra rooms. Like the jewel sword room is one of them, and that gives you a whole percent. Probably. Just waiting on Patty. We have most of the scores. There is a timed clock thing going on at the big clock. You probably saw this. When the clock hits a certain like minute, it opens up the left door to get to the gallery.
Yeah, I'm
or
vaguely aware of that mechanic in the game.
Coliseum. I think the speed run needs to make that. I don't remember the terms. It's like when you're on the right frame path on like Mario, and it opens up a whole like bus. You get on the bus.
It's based on real clock time, right? Because I think the speedrun like sets the system clock for the like if they play it on outside the PlayStation, or is it based on in-game time?
It's based on how long you've been playing in game.
It's in-game time. Okay, I can't remember what game I'm thinking of then. That
So you have
set
like
the system clock.
I feel like you have like 6 minutes to get there, or else you're gonna miss the clock. And if you get there in time, you can jump kick up there and enjoy yourself some. Doesn't that coffin in the bottom right look like a robot and not a coffin at all? Like a robot doing the head bob, the
Yeah.
the what is love head bob. That's what I see. I was playing Armored Core at the same time as this, you see, so. Alright, one more secret for you. This is more Metal Gear Solid, though. If you have this on your save file, they'll read it and tell you that you like Castlevania.
If you have this on your...
Yeah, Konami games. Set off Psycho Mantis' scene where he reads you your memory card and is pretending to be
remember I only played Metal Gear Solid on the Twin Snakes version on GameCube. And I can't remember what Psycho Mantis talked about for me. I feel like it was something really nonsense. I remember it being very funny.
He taught me how to pronounce Suikoden because he told me I loved it, and I was like, what? Ah.
How does he know? How does he know how into Suikoden I am?
Well, he's right. I gotta play that remaster. I'm waiting for that sucker. Hey, thanks for joining me out the blues.
Yeah, thanks for making me watch more SOTN.
Yeah. Hope I can convince you to play the other games on your 500 game pile there.
Later.
See ya.